Yeah, so this is the summary of the numbers so far in terms of the finances. This is the money that is received from DST, and this is how much have been spent, and this is the other from other industry funding and revenue from others. Right? Of course, the actual expenditure is this plus about 6 or 7 crores from here as well. In terms of the numbers, we are doing okay in most of them, except in job creation. I think that's one of the numbers which gives. I think that will improve soon. But by what extent, I do not know at this point. But we should be doing okay. Okay, so quickly, just to remind, the focus is ours is centered around data, and then technologies and solutions that come from data, and finally deployment from startup industry and society connect. So in terms of data, we have a data foundation, which is infrastructure and a platform for all the activities around data, like data collection, curation, annotation, hosting, visualization, and all, and then data research, and also developing large data sets, India-specific data sets, especially in the two applications areas that we have chosen, which is mobility and healthcare. And in technology development, we have multiple activities that are going on. Today, I will talk about, we are asked to talk about 3 things. I will talk about data foundation and one effort on road safety, and another one on oral cancer screening. And of course, as iHub-Data as one of these success stories. And also we work with these startups. So most of the activities that we have undertaken, whether in this space or here, these are all, it's a reasonably high TRL level, which some of them which I show. So and also we work with a number of partners. We have a large network, people from government like NASCOM or NTPC, DRDO, and many organizations and industry, and then NGOs and academic partners. So the first, I thought I'll show the success story first, because I presented this, that we initiated this particular program in the last MGP. So at that point, what I said was we had started this iHub-Data Nagpur, where we had deployed solutions to, related to road safety. For example, we want to have this front-facing camera to assess road infrastructure, collect data, and then also provide feedback and alerts to the drivers when, when they are very close to somebody and things like that. So what the major outcome has been, first, of course, right now we have, in Nagpur, we have installed these in 150 government buses and 50 private buses and 50 school buses. And then the data collection and analysis has been going on for last 1 year plus few months. So the major outcome is that we have shown that in the last 6 months, we take the data until 6 months ago and the data from the last 6 months, we can clearly quantitatively show that 48% of the drivers have shown behavior improvement, right? Because we also train drivers, because we have the personalized data, and we train drivers, go back and have these large camps with them, and then explain them what are the problems, how they could possibly improve. And the number of alerts that have come down in the last 6 months is about 31%. And we have also trained 800 drivers in the process of this one, right? So the others, in terms of infrastructure, we have identified many black spots, and in association with CRR, right, which is the Road Research Institute, we have given DPRs to these road owning agencies for possible corrections. And of course, future gray spots have been identified, and also we work with an NGO partner for awareness of these gray and black spots in these areas. So new efforts, we have started, recently inaugurated the iHub-Data Telangana for highways, because this is for city buses, the iHub-Data Nagpur, and and then we are now developing AI solutions from the data that we have collected so far in the Nagpur project. And so this is one of the awards that the Nagpur Municipal Corporation got related to this particular effort. Okay, so the 3 technologies, or the 3 other things that I wanted to talk about. The first one is the Indian driving data sets and the technologies that we have developed. This is one of the cloud platforms that we have developed for collecting road-related data, and then also to implement technology that we developed. So we have a number of data sets that have come out, and this is the impact that this has made. This is the number of users who have actually downloaded the data from the top 20 countries. Recently also, a few months ago, Telangana AI Mission has actually announced an AI grant channel on mobility based on our data sets. So these are just quick run through of what could be done and what has been already showcased. So for example, pothole detection, water logging, and then the drivable area, undrivable area, and then traffic violations. So think of a situation where we have a camera mounted on a law enforcement vehicle and they're just driving around, but then there is the system which detects all the triple riding and helmetless driving and creates a challan. Looks at the reads the license plate and creates a challan. I'm sure in 1 month from then, everybody will be wearing helmets right now. So, and then we also developed another technology for the Telangana government where they wanted to have a survey of tree coverage along highways. When you just drive and then basically a technology which counts the trees. So the road safety ones we have already did a thorough survey of Goa roads and also Hyderabad roads completely, and we have generated reports for them. Okay, so the other project is. If you look at cancer in India, 1/3 of world's cancer is in India, and out of the 30% of all cancers in India are oral cancers, right? So basically, we were talking to some NGOs in the beginning of the forming of the DH, and then we said they were actually saying that if we can detect these lesions early enough, sometimes just multivitamins can actually cure. They'll take care, right? So we started to see if we can come up with a solution. Basically, we had the NGO on board, oncologists and hospitals on board, and then we developed an app to collect data, right? So at that point, they were doing screenings. This NGO was going to villages and doing health screenings, but we said we'll create an app. They were doing it on paper, and the day all the data is gone, right? So we have an app. We developed an app which they actually create, they use for their own needs and also collect the oral cancer related, oral cavity pictures actually. So, and then of course we developed this, we collected the data and then labels, annotation and so on. And now the app is actually, I don't know, maybe it already passed through, but now we have this app ready to be deployed. This Vishnu, dental care, who does a lot of screening. They are going to start the field trials by testing this app in the real life. So that's the app. Let's just wait for a second. So you can see this is non-suspicious. Of course, I have taken the extreme examples just to show here, but it works pretty well. And this, for example, is a suspicious. It has some suspicious lesions. So this, I've got this, almost ready, and they're already starting it. And the last one I wanted to speak about is Data Foundation. One of the things that we wanted to have a platform which caters to all kinds of services, right? Like data collection, ingestion, and then anonymization, labeling, annotations, and so on. So we have an architecture and a lot of work that has happened, and some of these services are live, and some of them are still under development. Also, we have the infrastructure in place for collecting all this data and doing the analysis and so on. And we have, of course, for medical care, we use medical experts for annotation. We can't really hire them, but we work with them remotely. This is annotation lab in the hub, mostly used for mobility and other applications, other day-to-day data, where the annotation and things happen. So the data that we have, like the 5-6 data sets that I showed, they are very rich and it's extremely useful, and that's what we see. Right, I skip that. So startups, I'll just highlight 3 of them that we have funded. The one is what is called Arca Aerospace. So they developed something called Elasticopter. So basically, this is a drone which changes shape, depending on the payload. It just expands or changes shapes and pulls the payload and then flies. This has a lot of applications, and for example, in drone delivery or warehouse movements or multi-load, in general payload applications. Recently, a few months ago, they got this. DRD was there to Dream 3.0 award. The other one, this is a very interesting startup that we supported recently. So it's called Metaverse. So basically, their idea is if there is a content, whether it's game or like TV shows or movies, like there are ad placements, right? Why should the ad or the product that is being advertised be the same for everybody, all the audience, right? If I'm watching from, let's say, Delhi versus I'm watching from Hyderabad, right? I'm going to look for different things, right? So their idea is to place ads, again, location depending on the subscription and all that, the post placement of ads, without having to, go back to the, drawing board. So that's one thing we supported. So another one is called Flow Mobility. So basically, they have autonomous stack for mobility, and they have showcases in agriculture. For example, the one which they showcased was this the boom sprayer, which covers like 15 to 20 acres per day. But then they are, they have multiple use cases that they want to do. Okay, and then in skill development program, we have multiple long-term programs. It's at least 3 months. Our programs are at least 3 months with at least 5 years of engagement within contact us with the students or professionals. We have gone from 6-month to 1-year program in Foundations Modern ML, and then 4-month on data systems, 4-month on AI for drug discovery. Other one we did 3 cycles was training the CRP of Divyang warriors. Basically, they were injured when they are while at work, right? So in data annotation. So we have been helping in reskilling. And then international collaboration. I just wanted to quickly highlight one of them, which is with Intel. So when we started this hub, they came on board saying, we will help you in whatever ways possible. And then they have an applied AI center, which helps us in all the translations that we do. And they have 30% matching forms if we whatever in terms of whatever we receive from any source into the hub. And in addition to that, we have 3 senior level people: one management person, another one mobility scientist, and another one who has vast experience in developing productization in healthcare. So we have 3 persons full-time deputed with us. And these are, they're very, very involved with us in most of our activities. So with that, I will stop here. Thank you.